So we have to discuss about the linear neurons. So what is the linear neuron and their limitations? What are their limitations? So if you observe that most of the neurons are defined by the function f. We are creating the linear functionality with z. We are calculating z and we are passing that z value to the function f, which will make it as the non-linear, meaning that we can call it as the logic function, logic of z. This generally you have done with the logistic regression into machine learning, right? So the linear neurons are very easy to compute and they have so many limitations. First of all, what is this linear function, linear neuron? That is, let us say for example, we are taking one example of burgers, fries and soda are the inputs, and related to that we are having some weights, W1, W2, W3, these are the weights. If we apply the new linear neuron, you will get the weight, you will get the result y. That result will be like this: W1x1 plus W2x2 plus W3x3 only. So that there is no activation here. This is the linear neuron. We can call it as the z, and if you pass this to the another function, then it is called the non-linear function. So initially we are having the linear neuron only. For this we can apply the non-linear function. So what are those non-linear functions that we have to discuss? There are various non-linear functions available which can be applied on the linear neuron. They are the sigmoid, tanh, and ReLU neurons. So what are those sigmoid? The sigmoid it is in between the 0 and 1. Whatever you have given the input, whatever you have given the input, that will be taken input to the sigmoid, that will be converted into the between the 0 and 1 levels. Let us say for example, with the linear function we can get the values from the minus infinity to infinity. So I don't want those values. That is like the linear regression. If you think about the linear regression, the values can be from the minus infinity to infinity. So I want to limit it between the 0 and 1. So we can apply one function. That function is called the sigmoid. In this, there are only two levels, either 0 or 1. The values can be between the 0 and 1. We can make it as the round. We can make it round. The values can be the output may be between the 0 and 1. If it is the 0.1, we can consider that as the 0. If it is the 0.8, we can consider that as the 1. So that if there are only two levels of values, let us say for example male, female, and a pass fail. Like this, if you have the two levels, either cat or dog, if you have only two options, in such case we can apply the sigmoid function from the 0 to 1 level. So for that sigmoid function. And another one is the tanh. Sometimes we may need to limit the value, the outputs from the minus 1 to 1 instead of the 0 to 1. So in those situations we can apply the tanh function. Okay, so by using the tanh, the given output of the linear function, that is z, that can be limited between the minus 1 and the 1. The lower limit will be minus 1 and upper limit will be 1. And one more function, one more activation function is the ReLU, rectified linear unit. And here it is this is the linear regression only. It is the linear line only. For the linear line, we can apply that. We can apply. Actually, in sometimes we don't need the negative values. Let us say, for example, price. Price can be positive. It cannot be negative. So in those situations, if there is because of the computations, sometimes if you get the negative value, that has to be converted as the 0, meaning that any negative value whatever you are getting, we have to make it as 0. So that is called the rectified unit. So that, see here, you can observe that there is the linear unit. Whenever it is going to the less than 0, it is becoming as a 0 value. So this is the ReLU unit. Generally, it is used for the regression models. And of course, for the hidden models also, we can make it, we can use the ReLU, because for the negatives, negative values, the derivative part, in the calculations part, the negative values may impact the in reverse way, so that we can make it as the ReLU. Okay, for the hidden layers. Of course, if you are using the regression model, you can go with the ReLU for the final model also, final layer also. And now softmax. The softmax is the model, the softmax is the function which can give the probability distribution, which will work on the probability distribution. Till now, what we have discussed is linear. In the linear, we will give one value, and in the sigmoid, it will make it into two levels, either low, either 0 or 1. In the tan H, we can make it -1 or 1, but in the ReLU, we can make it 0 or X or Z, 0 or Z. Whatever the input of Z is there, that can be continued for the positive values, but negative values, it will be scaled to 0. So because of this reason, and sometimes we may need number of categories, not only 0 and 1. We may have a number of categories. Let us say, for example, digit recognition. The digits will be from 0 to 9. 0 to 9 digits will be there. If you give one input, the image, handwritten image as the input, that should be given to the model. That model has to give the one of the 10 options. How can it give that? That is by using the probability distribution. We can make the 10 probabilities out of 10 for which category it is getting the higher probability. We have to identify that. So that is the softmax function. So for that, we can see that the probabilities are there. The probability is pi equal to 1, meaning that whatever the probability that will be, the probability will be from 0 to 1, definitely. And we have how many probabilities are there? There are 10 probabilities, P0 to P9, because 10 digits. I am taking the example of 10 digits, 0 to 9 digits. So probability distribution, this 0 to 1 should be distributed into the 9 parts, meaning that the condition for this is, if you add all these probabilities, you should get 1. So see here, this is the example. You should get 1, meaning that the probability P0 is, let us say for example, 0.5, and P1 may be again 0.5, and P1 should be 0, 0, 0, P1, P2, P3, P4 and all should be 0. Because if you add all the P0 plus P1 plus P2 plus P3 and PR and so on, you should get 1 here. 1. Okay, so according to that, the probability will be distributed among the 10 values, right? So how we can calculate this? What we are getting the output from the linear function, that is Z. The Z should be applied to some other function. If it is a sigmoid, it may be 1 by e power minus Z, like that, 1 by 1 plus e power minus Z, like that. There are some functions available. Instead of in the similar way, for each probability, we have to give one function. For each probability, please see that we are not giving single probability, we are giving 10 probabilities. Out of 10 probabilities, we have to give one probability. For every probability, for yi, how many outputs will be there, how many categories are there, those many y's should be available. So that yi means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So for y0, what should be the probability? What should we apply? E power zi by sigma e power zj. Meaning that, see here, for each and every category, we have to calculate the probability. The detailed explanation will be available in the next sessions. I think it may be the third unit it will be available. So we can discuss in detail about this. Right now what you have to understand is, instead of giving the two level of sigmoid function, we can give the probability distribution of 10 possibilities, so that we can give that, we can go for the probability distribution in the first, for which probable, for which output the probability is high, we can take that particular value, that category can be taken as the target category. Let us say, for example, for P3, if we are getting the highest probability 0.8 and all others are having 0.1, 0.05 like that, then we have to take the P3 as the output. So this is the softmax function. Thank you. We can continue with the next session.